Peace, family. All right, so I always speak about the war that is on our men, but I don't want to mislead sisters into believing that there isn't also a war on us. There definitely is. And as a matter of fact, in order for you to understand the war that is on our men, you must first understand the war that is on us. Okay? Now, the so-called white supremacy or Caucasian elite or whatever we want to refer to it as, there are three things that they're absolutely afraid of. Thing one is Caucasian annihilation. That is why racist groups like the KKK and neo-Nazis, they're always talking about preserving the white race and saving the white race because they know what time it is. They know their time is almost up. And so the last thing that they want to happen is to see their race diminish while ours continues to grow. That's why they try so hard to keep us from having children, okay? So that's one thing they're afraid of. The second thing they're afraid of is losing their power, which in this instance is their money, okay? And I say the best way to control the people, and when you are controlling the people, you are in power. The best way to control the people is when they are dependent and divided. That's why I stress so much unity and self-sufficiency. When we are no longer going to them for food, clothing, shelter, protection, and education, they will no longer have any type of power over us. They will no longer be able to control any of us. Okay, but right now we are still going to them. We're still going to their grocery stores. We still need their welfare. We still need their health care. We still need their government and their politics. We still need we need to keep taking out loans and all these different things we go to them for. You know what I mean? And so that keeps them in power. That keeps them in some type of control. So they're afraid of losing their lives. They're afraid of seeing us united and self-sufficient because they don't want to lose power. Okay. The third thing that they're afraid of is they're afraid of the rise of the Black Messiah. All right, they don't want to see any more Nat Turners. They don't want to see any more Harriet Tubmans, Marcus Garveys, Malcolm X's, Assata Shakur's, Angela Davis's, Dr. Khalid Muhammad's. They don't want to see any more Black Messiahs because they know the Black Messiah is going to promote all of these things that they don't want to see happening. They're going to promote liberation and empowerment. They're going to promote unity, self-sufficiency, restoring the family structure. They're going to promote these things, right? And so that's why whenever there is a potential leader, they always try to get rid of them. They call it cutting off the head. They do that, or they try to bribe them or tempt them with material things. Like, you know what, if you purposely mislead, misguide, and divide your people, I'll give you this. Or if you try to keep your people in check, keep them hush, and, make sure they don't cause a riot, make sure they turn the other cheek or some crap like that, we'll give you this. You know what I mean? And so that is why they don't want to see another Black Messiah. All right. And so what does all of this have to do with the Black woman? Because where is a Messiah going to come from? It's going to come from the womb of a Black woman. They say if you want to know the condition of a people, look at her woman. All right. Sisters, we got to understand that our mentalities, like I've said 1,000 times, raise entire generations. All right. And our mentalities are what's going to raise the next Messiah. All right, so that's where the war comes in. They want to try to keep our minds mentally weak. They want to try to keep us from being empowered. They want to keep us from having knowledge of self. They want to keep us from reproducing. So step one is, like I said, to keep us from reproducing. That's where that whole Planned Parenthood crap comes in. That's why the number one killer of Blacks is abortion. All right. A lot of women will say, "Oh, that's not killing because it was never here." Whatever. It was a life that was growing inside of you. It was something that was connected to a life force, and you got rid of that. That's called killing it. All right? And like I said before, the Planned Parenthood was formerly known as the Negro Project, founded by a racist woman called Margaret Sanger, that said colored people were like human reeds that need to be exterminated. So I don't know why you would want to participate in something that was founded by a racist woman that would say something like that, but Okay? And then aside from that, they give us all of these other things that try to stop us or hinder our births, like birth control. Now, I don't suggest anyone go out here and have children if that child is not going to be nurtured for or taught and properly protected and provided for, and it's not going to have the parental coalition of both the mother and the father. However, we're going to have to find different methods of it because anything that we put in or on our bodies, sisters, that stops us from doing what our bodies are naturally supposed to do, you have to understand that is going to be very detrimental to our health, especially as natural beings, which we are, sisters. Okay? And actually, there are studies out now saying that women that get these Depo-Provera shots have a higher risk of getting HIV. And that's something that you can look up yourself. Okay? And then they have different things like these tampons, which are bleached, and we stick them up in ourselves, and it dries up our uterus and our wombs. And so all of these things have negative effects on us when it comes to birthing a child. Now, I heard someone make the statement that Black people are like the roaches of the earth. That is a very demeaning thing to say, but if you think about it, it kind of makes sense because we're not going nowhere. We are the original people of this planet. It's all ours. All of this is ours. We are the aboriginal people of every continent, every land of this planet. You understand? We're not going anywhere. All right? And they know that we're not going anywhere. So they know that they're going to have to try to attack us in another way. And so what do? They try to attack us mentally. All right? So the first thing they do, sisters, they try to have us conform to European standards of beauty. So we don't like the way that we look. We feel like we have to bleach our skin. We feel like we have to put this poison in our hair, which these relaxers and stuff, which are very detrimental, again, like I said, to our health. Anything that is unnatural is going to do harm to us. All right? And so they do these things. Now, I want you to think about this, sister. I have a daughter. And so if I put this long blonde weave in my hair, let's say I put blue contacts in my hair, in my eyes or whatever, my daughter's going to look at me and she's like, okay, well, you know what? I don't think I need to like my natural hair because my mama don't like her natural hair. Your daughter is going to want to be like you. They're always watching. They're going to mimic your every move. Okay? And so if she's seeing you do these things, she's seeing you not love who you naturally are, she's not going to love who she naturally is. She's going to think something is wrong with her natural beauty because you are not embracing your natural beauty. Okay? That's step one. Step two is with our sons. A lot of sisters have a lot of resentment towards men, and so we take that out on our sons sometimes. And also sometimes we are single mothers and we don't know how to raise our sons, so we feel like if we are harder on them, then it will make them more masculine, which is not true. And so we end up being abusive to our sons. Okay? And so our sons see that and we think we're doing a favor, but actually our sons are growing up thinking, okay, black women have attitude problems, black women are abusive, black women are mean, I don't want nothing to do with them. So they end up growing up and they don't want that type of woman. You understand? This happens very often. Very much so. Also, you have to look at these television shows that they have us watching. All of these television shows that degrade black women, where we're always screaming. They don't show any type of positive sisterhood. They don't show any type of positive family structures, any type of positive relationships. Everything is always messed up. We're always hating each other, always fighting. We're always naked. We're never, there's nothing ever positive. They show us we're the entertainment of the world, but we're like the laughing stock of the world. We are nothing. There's nothing positive about us. Either that or we're shooking and jabbing on our stage or something. You know what I mean? Those are the images they show us. All right? And so, sisters, when we see these things, especially a young girl, if she sees these things long enough, she's going to start believing that this is how she's supposed to act. She's going to start saying things, well, I don't get along with other women. She's going to start believing that. She's going to start believing that it's okay for her to disrespect her man. It's okay for her to dress this way. It's okay for her to act this way. You know what I mean? And so in all of these different ways, it's attacking us mentally. Another way is through our music, which a lot of people don't understand how powerful music is, because we are soulful beings. Okay? If music wasn't so powerful, they would not spend so much time, money, and energy trying to put negative music out before us and make it mainstream. They do that on purpose. Okay? Because it's very, very much so destructive to our youth. Okay? And so, sisters, when we are listening to these lyrics and they're degrading us and we are listening to it and we're laughing to it and we're dancing to it and we're taking all of that in, we're basically encouraging this crap. We're basically encouraging brothers calling us these names and treating us this way. You understand? So we have to, and I don't want to go too deep into this. I don't want to get into too much detail about this. But sisters, I just want us to be aware of the attack of this war that they have on us. They really want our mentalities to be jacked up. They really don't want us to have families. They don't want us to have family structure. They really don't want us to love ourselves. They don't want us to have self-pride. They don't want us to unite with our other sisters. They don't want to see positive sisterhood. They don't want us to be self-sufficient. They don't want us to do any of these things. So I say we need to do it. They don't want us to do it, and that's what the heck we need to do. All right? And so, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that, family. I'm not going to take up too much of y'all's time. I just want sisters to be aware that there's also a war on us. All right? Peace and much love, family.